It all started on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. The sound of raindrops pattering against the window created a cozy ambience that drew Emily into the world of The Sims. It was her escape, a way to immerse herself in a reality where she had control over her characters' lives, relationships, and homes. Everything she felt was slipping away in her own life. Emily was a 28-year-old marketing manager, juggling the demands of her job while trying to keep her marriage alive. She and Tom had been together for nearly a decade, and while their relationship had started with passion and excitement, it had gradually become a monotonous routine of work, dinner, and sleep. The spark they once had seemed extinguished, leaving Emily feeling unfulfilled and isolated. As she sat in front of her computer, she created a new family in The Sims, a couple that embodied everything she longed for: passion, adventure, and spontaneity. She named them Mia and Jake, and from the moment they moved into their charming little house, she found herself lost in their virtual lives. Mia and Jake were the epitome of a perfect couple. They laughed together, went on spontaneous dates, and even had thrilling escapades that left Emily buzzing with excitement. She spent hours guiding them through their life choices, making decisions that filled her with a sense of power she desperately craved in reality. One evening, while Tom was at a work event, Emily found herself particularly engrossed in the game. Mia had just proposed to Jake, and the virtual wedding was set for the weekend. She watched in delight as her Sims danced and celebrated, feeling a pang of longing for the romance she once shared with Tom. With the wedding celebration in full swing, a notification popped up: Mia has met someone new. Emily's heart raced as she clicked to reveal the surprise. Mia had crossed paths with a charming neighbor, Alex, who was flirty and adventurous, a stark contrast to the predictable Tom. In that moment, a mischievous idea took root in Emily's mind. She decided to have Mia pursue a flirtation with Alex, exploring the thrilling chaos that unfolded. The allure of the forbidden drew her in. It was a chance to experience excitement without real-life consequences. As the days passed in the game, Mia's relationship with Alex deepened. They shared secret moments, late-night conversations, and stolen kisses, all while Tom remained oblivious. Emily felt a rush of exhilaration each time she played, as if she were reliving a romance she had lost. The lines between her virtual life and reality began to blur, and Emily found herself daydreaming about the thrill of an affair, even if it was just in her game. One night, after a particularly exhausting day at work, Emily decided to indulge in a little late-night gaming. Tom had come home late, and they barely exchanged more than a few words before he retired to the bedroom. With the house quiet, Emily logged into The Sims, eager to see where Mia and Alex's story would take her next. To her surprise, Mia and Alex had developed a strong bond, marked by deep conversations and romantic escapades. Emily found herself smiling at their antics, completely absorbed in their world. It was exhilarating, and for a brief moment, she felt alive. But as the excitement of the game consumed her, Emily couldn't shake the nagging feeling in her gut. She was playing with fire, blurring the lines between fantasy and reality. What did it mean for her own life that she was so drawn to this virtual affair? Did she secretly long for something more than just a simulation? As the days turned into weeks, Emily became increasingly invested in Mia's life. She spent hours crafting elaborate storylines and scenarios that pushed the boundaries of her Sims relationships. The game offered her a taste of adventure and freedom that she felt was missing from her own life. But while she reveled in the thrill of Mia's escapades, she began to notice something unsettling. Her real-life interactions with Tom were growing colder. The more time she spent in the virtual world, the less she felt compelled to engage with her husband. One evening, Tom surprised her with a dinner reservation at their favorite restaurant, a gesture that would have once made Emily's heart flutter. But instead of feeling excited, she felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Would she be able to sit through dinner without the allure of her Sims distracting her? As they sat across from each other, the ambience of the restaurant buzzing with laughter and conversation, Emily found herself preoccupied. Tom shared stories about his day, but all she could think about was Mia's upcoming rendezvous with Alex. The contrast between her virtual excitement and her stagnant reality felt suffocating. Tom's voice broke through her thoughts. "You seem distracted. Everything okay?" he asked, concern etching his features. "Yeah, just thinking about work," Emily lied, forcing a smile. Tom nodded, but Emily could sense the disappointment beneath his facade. She was losing him, and the realization felt like a punch to the gut. After dinner, they returned home, and Emily felt an overwhelming urge to escape. "I'm going to play some Sims," she announced, unable to hide her excitement. "Okay, have fun," Tom replied, his voice flat, as he retreated to the living room to watch TV. As she logged into the game, Emily's heart raced. She was ready to guide Mia into another adventure, fully immersing herself in the world that had become her escape. But as she watched Mia and Alex flirt and explore their virtual romance, a wave of guilt washed over her. Was this really what she wanted? A thrill found only in a digital universe while her real marriage slipped away? Emily leaned back in her chair, a wave of anxiety hitting her. It was only a game, yet it felt all too real. With Mia's heart in her hands, she faced a choice: continue down this path of fantasy or confront the reality of her life. The excitement of the game began to feel like a double-edged sword, a reflection of her discontent that she couldn't ignore any longer. As she pondered her next move, the phone buzzed on her desk. It was a message from Tom. "Are we okay?" The weight of his question hung in the air, and Emily felt her heart drop. She knew she had to make a decision, but which path would she choose? In that moment, she realized that while The Sims offered her a world of possibilities, it was time to confront the real affair happening within her heart, the one between her dreams and her reality. Chapter 2: The Crossroads. The days that followed Tom's text weighed heavily on Emily's mind. The thrill of her virtual affair with Mia and Alex began to feel less like an escape and more like a glaring reflection of her discontent with reality. Each evening she logged into The Sims, the fun of the game was tinged with guilt, reminding her of the love and connection she was neglecting with Tom. Emily knew she had to make a choice. Did she want to continue weaving an elaborate fantasy where she could control every outcome, or was it time to address the deep-seated issues in her marriage? The excitement she felt with Mia and Alex was intoxicating, but it was also a reminder of everything she was missing in her real life. One rainy night, as she sat on the couch with her laptop, the glow of the screen illuminating her face, Emily found herself scrolling through the various forums dedicated to The Sims. She stumbled upon a thread titled "When Your Sims' Lives Mirror Your Own." Intrigued, she clicked on it. The stories shared by other players resonated with her in ways she hadn't expected. Many confessed to using the game as an outlet for their frustrations in real life, creating scenarios that reflected their deepest desires and regrets. One player wrote, "Sometimes, I wonder if I'm living my life through my Sims instead of actually living it myself." Emily's heart raced. That was exactly how she felt. As she read through the comments, she felt a wave of solidarity with other players who were navigating their own crossroads. Some had taken the leap to address their issues head-on, while others remained trapped in their digital worlds, too afraid to confront the reality waiting outside. After reading through several posts, Emily felt a surge of determination. It was time to face her situation. She didn't want to become so lost in her Sims that she missed the chance to rediscover the joy in her real life. With newfound clarity, she shut her laptop and took a deep breath. It was time to have an honest conversation with Tom. No more hiding behind distractions, she needed to articulate her feelings and explore whether there was a way to reignite the spark in their marriage. That evening, as Tom settled onto the couch, Emily felt a mix of anxiety and anticipation. She needed to broach the topic delicately, but she also knew that honesty was the only way forward. "Hey, can we talk?" she asked, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. "Sure, what's on your mind?" Tom replied, turning to face her with a hint of curiosity. "I've been feeling a bit disconnected lately." "I think we both have," Emily started, choosing her words carefully. "I've been so wrapped up in work and my own things that I haven't really been present with you." Tom's expression shifted to one of concern. "I've noticed. I thought it was just work stress. Is there something specific bothering you?" "I don't know how to explain it," Emily said, feeling the weight of her emotions. "I've been playing this game, The Sims, and I realized that I've been escaping into it because I felt unfulfilled in my own life. It's like I've been trying to live through my characters instead of dealing with my reality." Tom looked taken aback. "The Sims? I didn't know it was that serious. Are you unhappy with us?" "I don't want to be unhappy, and I don't want to keep pretending everything is fine," Emily confessed. "I miss the fun we used to have together. The spontaneous adventures, the deep conversations. I feel like we've lost that somewhere along the way." Tom shifted in his seat, processing her words. "I guess I've noticed things changing too. Work has been crazy for both of us, and I didn't know how to bring it up. I thought it was just a phase we'd get through." "It's not just a phase, Tom. I want to find a way back to each other," Emily said, her voice cracking slightly. "I don't want to look back one day and realize we wasted this time being disconnected." A silence hung in the air as Tom absorbed her words. "I care about you, Emily. I want us to be happy together. I just didn't know how to talk about it. Maybe we both got too comfortable. I think we need to make a conscious effort to change that," Emily suggested, a glimmer of hope igniting within her. "We could try setting aside time for each other, date nights, adventures, whatever it takes. I want to make this work." Tom nodded slowly, a thoughtful look crossing his face. "I'd like that. We could also explore new hobbies together. Something that excites us both." Emily felt a rush of relief wash over her. They had taken the first step toward reconnecting, and she was determined to nurture that spark. "How about we start with a weekend getaway? Just the two of us, somewhere we can unwind and have fun together." "That sounds great. We should pick a place that allows us to explore and have new experiences," Tom said, a smile breaking through the tension. As they discussed potential destinations, Emily felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. They were working together to reignite their relationship, something she hadn't thought possible just days ago. Later that night, as they sat together watching a movie, Emily glanced over at Tom, her heart swelling with appreciation. She remembered the excitement of her Sims, the thrill of their virtual lives, but it paled in comparison to the connection she felt growing with her husband in that moment. It was clear that her desire for excitement didn't have to be fulfilled in a digital world, it could exist in her reality, alongside Tom. As they snuggled up together, she realized that the real adventure was just beginning. Emily felt determined to prioritize her marriage, to weave moments of joy and spontaneity into their everyday lives. But as she drifted off to sleep that night, she couldn't shake the memory of Mia and Alex, the thrilling affair that had once captivated her. In the depths of her heart, she wondered if it was possible to keep that sense of adventure alive in her own life while remaining faithful to Tom. After all, she didn't want to abandon the parts of herself that craved excitement. The next morning, Emily woke up with a sense of purpose. She would embrace this new chapter, one filled with honesty and adventure. Yet, she also knew that the allure of her virtual affair had sparked something deeper, a realization that she needed to continue exploring her own desires, her creativity, and her passions. As she brewed her morning coffee, a plan began to form in her mind. She would create a list of activities that not only brought her joy but also included Tom in the process. The aim was to forge a connection, but also to reignite her own passions and interests, something that hadn't happened in far too long. The idea felt invigorating. If Mia and Alex had shown her anything, it was that life could be vibrant and thrilling if only she took the initiative. She was ready to blend the excitement of her Sims with the reality of her life, all while nurturing her marriage with Tom. With her coffee in hand, Emily opened her laptop, ready to craft a list of adventures. The Sims had provided her an outlet, but it was time to embrace her reality with the same fervor. Little did she know, the choices she made in her waking life would lead her down a path she never could have anticipated, one filled with unexpected challenges, emotional revelations, and the ever-present question of loyalty and desire. Chapter 3, The Experiment. With her list of potential adventures in hand, Emily felt a renewed sense of excitement. She crafted a colorful document titled Our Adventure Calendar, filled with activities ranging from spontaneous road trips to cooking classes and outdoor excursions. Each activity was designed not just to bring fun into their lives but also to create moments that would deepen their connection. The first item on the list was a weekend getaway to a quaint cabin in the woods. Emily had found the perfect location, a rustic place nestled among towering pines, complete with a cozy fireplace and a hot tub. It seemed like the ideal setting for them to unwind and reconnect. Once Emily proposed the idea to Tom, his eyes lit up with enthusiasm. "I've always wanted to go to a cabin." "When can we go?" he exclaimed, his excitement infectious. "We could leave this Friday after work and return Sunday." "It'll be a great way to escape the city for a bit," Emily suggested, her heart racing at the thought of spending quality time together away from their usual routines. "Let's do it. I'll take care of packing." "Just tell me what you want to bring," Tom replied, already brainstorming how to make the most of their time away. As Friday approached, Emily felt a blend of nerves and anticipation. This getaway represented more than just a break from their daily lives, it was a chance to rebuild the intimacy that had waned over the years. On Friday evening, they packed the car with snacks, warm clothes, and a couple of board games for their downtime. Emily felt a thrill at the thought of the adventures awaiting them, all while realizing how much she had missed moments like these with Tom. The drive to the cabin was filled with laughter and playful banter, a welcome change from their usual silence. They sang along to their favorite songs, reminiscing about past trips and inside jokes. For the first time in a long while, Emily felt a spark of hope that they were on the right path. As they arrived at the cabin, the sun was beginning to set, casting a warm golden hue over the landscape. The air was crisp, and the scent of pine enveloped them as they stepped out of the car. "Wow, this place is beautiful," Tom exclaimed, taking in the rustic charm of the cabin. Emily felt her heart swell with joy, seeing Tom so genuinely happy. After settling in, they decided to take a stroll through the surrounding woods. Hand in hand, they wandered along a winding path, the leaves crunching beneath their feet. Emily pointed out interesting plants and trees, trying to ignite the same sense of wonder she felt as a child exploring nature. "Remember when we went hiking that summer in Colorado? We got lost for hours." Tom laughed, and Emily joined in, recalling how they had stumbled upon that hidden waterfall and ended up splashing each other like kids. "Those were the best moments," she agreed, her heart warming at the memories. "We should do more of that. Just be present with each other." As the sun dipped below the horizon, they returned to the cabin, where they lit a fire in the fireplace and prepared a simple dinner together. Cooking side by side felt intimate, a reminder of the days when they would whip up elaborate meals just for fun. Over dinner, they shared stories, dreams, and aspirations they hadn't discussed in years. Emily felt the walls they had built around themselves slowly begin to crumble. The intimacy they were rebuilding felt electric, almost as if they were rediscovering each other all over again. After dinner, they settled into the hot tub under a blanket of stars. The warmth enveloped them as they shared their hopes for the future. Emily found herself confessing her fears and desires, the need for more spontaneity, more passion, and a deeper connection. "I want us to keep this going, Tom," she said, her voice soft yet resolute. "I don't want to lose what we're building here." "Me too, Tom replied, his eyes earnest. Let's promise to always make time for each other, no matter how busy life gets. I miss you when you're distracted. The vulnerability they shared in that moment felt like a pact, an unspoken agreement to prioritize their relationship moving forward. They soaked in the warmth of the hot tub, wrapped in each other's arms, feeling the weight of the world fade away. The next day, they ventured out for a hike, eager to explore the trails around the cabin. As they trekked through the forest, Emily felt a renewed energy. Each step brought them closer to nature and to each other, the laughter and conversation flowing effortlessly. But as they reached a scenic overlook, a thought crossed Emily's mind: could she truly let go of the allure of Mia and Alex? The thrill of their digital romance had provided an escape, and while she was committed to Tom, a part of her still craved that spark. The landscape before them was breathtaking, the mountains rising majestically in the distance. It was a reminder of the beauty in both their lives and the potential for growth. She knew that the excitement she sought didn't have to come from infidelity but could be nurtured through honest communication and shared experiences. As they returned to the cabin, Emily felt a sense of resolution. She would explore her creativity and desires in ways that didn't jeopardize her marriage. Perhaps she could introduce some of the excitement from her Sims into her reality, cooking new recipes, planning spontaneous outings, and trying new activities together. Back at the cabin, they spent the evening playing board games, their laughter echoing through the walls. Emily felt as if they were truly reconnecting, the laughter serving as a bridge to their past happiness. Later that night, as they cuddled under a blanket by the fireplace, Emily found herself drifting between contentment and restlessness. The warmth of Tom's body next to hers was comforting, but the thrill of Mia's escapades lingered in the back of her mind. The following day, as they packed up to return home, Emily felt a sense of bittersweet nostalgia. Their getaway had been a step in the right direction, yet the duality of her emotions gnawed at her. In the car ride home, Tom reached for her hand, and she squeezed it tightly, feeling gratitude wash over her. They were committed to rebuilding their relationship, but Emily realized that the journey was only just beginning. As they pulled into their driveway, she knew she had to confront the feelings she had tucked away. It wasn't enough to push aside her fantasies, she needed to understand them fully. The allure of Mia and Alex had revealed something deeper within her, a longing for connection and excitement that she had to explore. Later that evening, after unpacking and settling back into their routine, Emily sat down at her laptop, ready to dive back into The Sims. She felt nervous yet curious about what Mia and Alex had been up to in her absence. As she opened the game, the familiar music played, and she was transported back into their world. Mia and Alex had progressed in their relationship, and Emily felt a twinge of excitement as she watched their adventures unfold. But this time, it felt different. Instead of feeling drawn to the thrill of their affair, Emily found herself analyzing their actions, wondering what it was that drew her to the storyline in the first place. Was it the excitement of the chase? The thrill of the unknown? In that moment, she realized that while Mia and Alex offered a temporary escape, the real adventure was with Tom. The excitement she craved could exist in her reality, with genuine connections and shared experiences. As she played, Emily made a promise to herself. She would explore her own desires, nurturing her creativity and passion, but she would also prioritize her marriage. The journey ahead would be filled with challenges, but she was determined to embrace it wholeheartedly. With a newfound sense of purpose, Emily saved her game and closed her laptop, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. The lines between fantasy and reality had blurred, but she was ready to step into the light, embracing both the excitement of life and the love she shared with Tom. Chapter 4: The Temptation. The following weeks were filled with new adventures for Emily and Tom. They tried new recipes, took dance lessons, and even went for weekend hikes, creating memories that reignited the spark in their relationship. Each moment felt like a building block, strengthening their connection and rekindling the passion they had thought lost. However, despite the joy of their newfound routine, the allure of Mia and Alex lingered in Emily's mind. She found herself occasionally logging into The Sims, captivated by the drama and excitement that unfolded in her characters' lives. Each time she played, it was like stepping into a world where everything was exhilarating and vibrant, contrasting sharply with the mundane aspects of daily life. One evening, while sitting at her laptop, Emily received a message from a friend, Sarah, who had just started playing The Sims. "I'm creating a storyline with my character and her love interest, but things are getting complicated. Any advice?" Emily smiled at the message. Sarah had always been dramatic with her Sim stories, weaving intricate plots filled with love triangles and betrayals. "Just embrace the chaos. It's a game, after all. Make it juicy," she replied, her mind wandering back to her own story with Mia and Alex. After a few exchanges, Sarah suggested they collaborate on a storyline, merging their characters and creating a world filled with conflict and romance. Emily felt a flutter of excitement. It could be a fun escape, and it felt harmless after all, it was just a game. As they began to plot their characters' lives, Emily found herself crafting scenarios that mirrored her own feelings. She created a character, Lila, who was caught in a whirlwind romance with two charming Sims, both of whom represented parts of what Emily desired, adventure and stability. "I can't believe how much I love this drama," Sarah exclaimed in a message. "It's so fun to explore these themes. What if Lila has to choose between her wild, spontaneous lover and her dependable best friend? What would you do?" Emily felt a pang in her chest. The thrill of crafting Lila's story resonated deeply with her own internal conflict. She was tempted by the excitement of Mia and Alex, yet she cherished the stability and love she had with Tom. As she navigated this fictional love triangle, Emily started to reflect on her own choices. She realized she had been looking for excitement outside of her marriage rather than embracing the love and passion she already had with Tom. The Sims had provided her a canvas to explore her desires, but it also held a mirror to her reality. That weekend, Emily and Tom had planned a day trip to a nearby vineyard. They arrived in the late morning, greeted by the warm sun and the fragrant scent of grapes. As they strolled through the vineyard, sipping wine and sharing stories, Emily couldn't shake the lingering thoughts of Lila's dilemma. "Is everything okay, Em? You seem a bit distracted," Tom said, pausing to look into her eyes. Emily hesitated. She didn't want to burden him with her internal struggle, but she also felt a pressing need to be honest. "I've been thinking a lot about our relationship, about how we can keep this spark alive," she admitted, choosing her words carefully. "Yeah? I've been thinking about that too. I love what we've been doing lately," Tom replied, a smile brightening his face. "It feels like we're getting back to who we were." "It does," Emily agreed, feeling warmth wash over her. "But I've also realized I've been struggling with some feelings. I've been using the game as an escape, and it's made me think about what I really want." Tom's expression shifted to one of concern. "What do you mean?" "I guess I'm just trying to figure out how to balance my own desires with our relationship. Sometimes, it feels like I need something more excitement, spontaneity," she confessed, her heart racing. "But I love you, and I don't want to lose what we have." Tom took a moment to absorb her words. "I appreciate you being honest with me. I want you to feel fulfilled, too. But I also want to make sure we're on the same page. Maybe we can explore new things together? Push the boundaries a bit." Emily felt a rush of relief. "That sounds amazing. I want to be open about my needs, and I want us to grow together." They spent the rest of the day brainstorming activities that would inject excitement into their lives. From spontaneous weekend trips to trying out new hobbies, the possibilities felt endless. Emily felt a newfound freedom in discussing her desires, and it reignited her passion for their relationship. But as they returned home that evening, Emily couldn't shake the nagging thoughts of Lila's story. The temptation of exploring a different kind of excitement lingered at the back of her mind. Later that night, as Emily lay in bed, she found herself torn between her newfound commitment to Tom and the thrill that Mia and Alex had once provided. She needed to explore her feelings more deeply, to confront the underlying reasons she had felt the urge to stray. Over the next few days, she dedicated time to reflect on her emotions and desires. She began journaling about her experiences, her relationship with Tom, and the excitement she sought in her Sims game. Each entry revealed layers of her feelings: longing for adventure, fear of complacency, and a yearning for a deeper connection with Tom. One evening, while journaling, Emily had a revelation. The excitement she craved didn't have to stem from external sources, it could be created within her relationship. The fear of losing herself to the mundane had led her to seek escapism, but in reality, she had the power to infuse her life with excitement and passion. That weekend, inspired by her revelations, Emily decided to plan a surprise date for Tom. She wanted to demonstrate that their love could be thrilling without needing to escape into a virtual world. Emily spent hours preparing. She organized a scavenger hunt that led Tom through their favorite spots in the city, ending at a rooftop restaurant with breathtaking views. As she set the final details in place, she felt a flutter of anticipation. When the day arrived, Emily handed Tom a note to kick off the scavenger hunt. "This is going to be an adventure like no other," she proclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Tom grinned, his enthusiasm infectious as they embarked on their adventure. The scavenger hunt was filled with laughter and surprises, each clue leading them to a new location that held special meaning in their relationship. From the coffee shop where they had their first date to the park where they shared their first kiss, each stop was a reminder of their journey together. As they reached the rooftop restaurant, the sun began to set, painting the sky in vibrant hues of orange and pink. They sat together, a warm breeze gently flowing around them, and Emily felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. "This has been amazing, Em. You always know how to surprise me," Tom said, his eyes shining with admiration. "I wanted to remind us both that we can create our own excitement, together," Emily replied, her heart swelling with love. "We don't need to look for it elsewhere. It's all right here, within us." As they enjoyed their dinner, Emily felt a sense of completeness. The thrill of their day and the intimacy they shared felt more fulfilling than any digital affair ever could. She realized that while the game provided an escape, her reality was where she truly wanted to be. As they finished their meal and looked out over the city, Emily knew she had made the right choice. The path to rekindling their relationship was still a journey, but she felt more committed than ever to exploring it with Tom. That night, as they returned home, Emily felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. She was ready to embrace the adventure that awaited her in both her marriage and her own personal growth. But as she settled into bed, her thoughts lingered on Lila's story. The allure of Mia and Alex was still there, whispering in her ear. However, Emily was determined to navigate her feelings with honesty and integrity. She would continue to explore the depths of her desires while nurturing the love she shared with Tom. Chapter 5, The Revelation. In the following weeks, Emily embraced her journey with Tom, finding joy in their spontaneous adventures and open conversations. They started taking dance classes together, something they both enjoyed. The laughter and occasional clumsiness of their lessons became cherished memories, reminding Emily of the excitement they had once shared. Yet, despite her growing commitment, the pull of Mia and Alex still lingered. Emily found herself drawn back to The Sims, the thrill of crafting stories for Lila and her lovers becoming a welcome distraction from her everyday life. She had initially intended to keep her character's story separate from her reality, but as Lila's drama unfolded, Emily couldn't help but notice the parallels to her own feelings. One evening, while playing, she reached a pivotal moment in Lila's story. The character had to make a choice between her dependable partner and the enticing stranger who offered adventure. Emily felt a rush of anxiety, knowing she had been in a similar place faced with choices that could redefine her relationships. "Why is it so complicated?" she whispered to herself, frustration mounting. As she guided Lila toward her decision, Emily felt a wave of clarity wash over her. The tension in the game mirrored her internal struggle, and she realized she had to confront the root of her desires. That night, she decided to have an open discussion with Tom about her feelings. As they lounged on the couch, Emily turned to him, taking a deep breath. "Can we talk about something that's been on my mind?" "Of course, Em. What's up?" Tom replied, concern flickering in his eyes. "I've been reflecting a lot about our relationship, and there's something I need to share with you. I want to be completely honest," she began, feeling the weight of her confession loom over her. Tom nodded, his expression attentive. "I'm here for you." Emily took a moment to gather her thoughts. "I've been playing The Sims a lot, and it's made me realize something. I've been using the game as a way to escape, to explore parts of myself that I felt are missing in our life together." Tom looked puzzled. "Missing? What do you mean?" "I think I've been searching for excitement and adventure, and I didn't know how to express that. In the game, Lila has to make difficult choices, and it's making me question my own desires," Emily admitted, her voice trembling slightly. Tom's expression shifted to one of understanding. "So, you feel like you're not getting enough excitement in our relationship?" "It's not that I don't love you or enjoy our time together, I just feel like I've been craving something different," she explained, her heart racing. "I've been thinking a lot about how to infuse our lives with spontaneity and passion." Tom took a deep breath, processing her words. "I appreciate you being so honest. I've felt a bit of a shift, too, but I didn't know how to bring it up. I've been worried about you." Emily felt a wave of relief wash over her. "I don't want to lose what we have, Tom. I want to explore new things together, push our boundaries, and keep our connection alive." "I want that too, Em. I just didn't know how to talk about it," he replied, a smile breaking through. "We can be adventurous together. Let's not shy away from what we want." Their conversation opened the door to new possibilities. They spent the evening brainstorming ways to inject excitement into their lives, plan a weekend trip to a place they had never visited, try new hobbies, and even create a list of spontaneous dates they could go on. As they wrapped up their planning, Emily felt a renewed sense of hope. The weight of her hidden feelings had lifted, and she felt empowered to embrace the adventure of their relationship head-on. A few days later, Emily decided to invite Tom to join her in The Sims for a collaborative gameplay session. She thought it could be a fun way for them to explore the themes she had been grappling with, but in a light-hearted and entertaining way. "Hey, how about we create our own characters together? We could build a story and navigate their choices as a team," she suggested one evening. Tom raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "That could be fun. Let's see what kind of chaos we can create." As they dove into the game, they laughed and joked, designing characters that mirrored aspects of themselves. Emily created a character named Mia, an adventurous spirit who loved to travel and seek excitement, while Tom crafted his character as the steady, reliable partner who adored her. Playing together brought them closer, and as they guided their characters through ups and downs, Emily began to see the potential for growth and exploration within her own life. It was as if they were role-playing their own journey, allowing them to address their feelings without the weight of reality bearing down on them. Through the virtual drama, they confronted their desires openly. Mia faced temptations, and together, they navigated the complexities of her choices, discussing what each decision meant for their virtual relationship and reflecting on their own values and desires. After several gameplay sessions, Emily found herself feeling a sense of clarity. The game allowed them to explore the themes of adventure and stability, emphasizing the importance of communication and compromise in their relationship. But just as things seemed to be falling into place, an unexpected twist arose in Lila's story within the game. As Emily was crafting her character's narrative, she accidentally stumbled upon a glitch that introduced a new character, a charismatic sim named Alex, who seemed to sweep Lila off her feet. Emily felt a jolt of anxiety as she watched the flirtation unfold on the screen. The thrill of a new romance mirrored her own past choices, and for a moment, she was drawn into the fantasy, forgetting the commitments she had made to Tom. "Whoa, this guy is charming," Tom said, laughing at Lila's interactions with the new character. "Should we see where this goes?" Emily's heart raced. The allure of Alex was undeniable, but she found herself at a crossroads. "We could, but I think it's important to remember that the real excitement comes from our lives, not from drama in the game," she said, her voice shaking. Tom nodded, sensing her hesitation. "You're right. Let's steer Lila in a direction that aligns with what we want to explore in our relationship." With that decision, Emily felt a rush of relief. They focused on building Lila's relationship with her dependable partner, reinforcing their commitment to each other both in the game and in real life. As they continued to play, Emily realized that the characters they created weren't just reflections of her fantasies, they were representations of their desires and aspirations. They could navigate challenges together, learn from mistakes, and ultimately embrace the adventure that lay ahead. After their gaming session, Emily and Tom spent the night discussing their dreams and aspirations. They opened up about their fears, hopes, and the importance of maintaining excitement in their lives. It became clear to Emily that she didn't need to seek thrills through infidelity or fantasy. The adventure she longed for could be cultivated within her relationship. The more they talked, the more she understood that their love was worth nurturing and exploring. As the weeks went by, Emily and Tom continued to embrace new adventures, whether it was exploring new hiking trails, trying out exotic cuisines, or taking spontaneous road trips. Each experience brought them closer, and Emily felt grateful for the journey they were on. But even as they thrived, the memory of Lila and her adventures remained in the back of Emily's mind. She understood that the temptation would always be there, but it was no longer a source of fear. Instead, it served as a reminder of her commitment to Tom and the importance of honesty in their relationship. One night, as they cuddled on the couch after a long day, Tom turned to Emily with a thoughtful expression. "I know we've talked a lot about adventure lately, but I want to remind you that you can always share what you're feeling with me. No matter what it is." Emily smiled, feeling the warmth of his sincerity. "Thank you, Tom. I promise I will. You've always been my rock." With that, Emily felt a sense of closure wash over her. The journey wasn't about denying her desires but about embracing them within the framework of their love. As she settled into sleep that night, she found comfort in knowing that she could navigate her feelings openly and honestly. The thrill of adventure awaited her, and she was ready to explore it right beside the one she loved. Chapter 6: The Temptation Returns. Life continued to blossom for Emily and Tom, their relationship growing deeper and more fulfilling with each passing day. Their weekend adventures and playful banter became the foundation of their rekindled love. However, as Emily navigated her renewed commitment, the shadows of her past temptations occasionally flickered at the edges of her consciousness. One evening, while scrolling through social media, Emily stumbled upon a post from Mia. The photo depicted a lively gathering filled with friends, laughter, and drinks. Everyone seemed to be having the time of their lives. Mia, with her bright smile and adventurous spirit, looked radiant, effortlessly drawing in attention. Emily felt a pang of nostalgia mixed with intrigue. Part of her longed for the excitement that Mia represented, and for a fleeting moment, she imagined what it would be like to join that world again. The thrill of spontaneity and the allure of living on the edge stirred a familiar yearning deep within her. "Hey, what are you thinking about?" Tom asked, sensing her distraction as he settled next to her on the couch. "Oh, just saw a post from Mia. Looks like they're having a blast," Emily replied, trying to keep her tone casual, but she could feel her pulse quicken. Tom raised an eyebrow, his concern evident. "You seem a bit off. Do you miss that kind of lifestyle?" Emily hesitated, knowing the honesty she had promised herself. "I guess I'm just feeling a bit restless. Sometimes I wonder if I'm missing out on something." Tom took a deep breath, leaning closer to her. "I get that. Life with me can feel stable, even boring at times. But I want to make sure you know that adventure doesn't have to mean straying away from what we have." "I know," Emily replied, the tension in her chest easing slightly. "It's just that I sometimes feel like I'm stuck in this routine, and it's hard to shake off that feeling." Tom nodded, his expression thoughtful. "What if we planned something spontaneous? Just the two of us? We could visit Mia and her friends for a weekend, or maybe go on a road trip to somewhere we've never been." The suggestion sparked a flicker of excitement in Emily. "That could be fun. A little getaway might be just what we need." They began brainstorming, and within a few days, they planned an impromptu weekend trip to a nearby coastal town known for its vibrant nightlife and scenic beaches. The anticipation filled Emily with energy, and she felt the restlessness begin to fade. As they packed their bags, Emily felt a surge of exhilaration. This trip represented not just an escape but also a chance to explore new aspects of their relationship. They left on Friday afternoon, eager for the adventure ahead. Arriving at the beach town, they checked into a charming little hotel with ocean views. The salty air filled their lungs as they stepped out onto the bustling boardwalk, lights twinkling like stars overhead. Emily felt alive, the thrill of spontaneity coursing through her veins. They spent the first evening wandering through the local shops, sampling street food, and enjoying the vibrant atmosphere. As they shared laughter and inside jokes, Emily realized how much she had missed this side of their relationship: the fun, the joy, the connection that made everything else fade away. Later that night, they headed to a lively bar filled with music and laughter. Tom pulled Emily onto the dance floor, and they swayed to the rhythm, lost in each other's eyes. The carefree energy of the place swept them both up, and Emily felt the excitement she had craved without compromising the love she had for Tom. As the night progressed, Emily's gaze wandered, spotting a familiar face in the crowd. Mia was there, laughing and chatting with friends, her vibrant energy lighting up the room. For a moment, Emily's heart raced with anticipation and fear, a mix of excitement and anxiety bubbling within her. "What's wrong?" Tom asked, noticing her change in demeanor. "I just saw Mia. I didn't expect to run into her here," Emily admitted, her voice slightly shaky. "Want to say hi?" Tom suggested, his tone encouraging. Taking a deep breath, Emily nodded. They approached Mia, who greeted them with a warm smile. "Emily. Tom. I'm so glad to see you guys. This place is amazing, right?" "It really is," Emily replied, feeling the familiar pull of camaraderie with Mia. As they chatted, Emily couldn't help but feel a sense of nostalgia wash over her. The thrill of being around Mia rekindled memories of their wild escapades, and the allure of adventure resurfaced. As the night continued, Mia invited them to join her and her friends for a game of pool. Emily exchanged a glance with Tom, who nodded, encouraging her to enjoy the moment. In the bar's lively atmosphere, Emily found herself slipping back into the carefree persona she had cultivated during her time with Mia. She laughed, danced, and reveled in the energy around her, momentarily forgetting the commitments she had made to Tom. But as the night wore on, the reality of her choices began to sink in. Laughter bubbled around her, but beneath it was a voice of caution whispering in her ear. She glanced at Tom, who was leaning against the wall, watching her with a warm smile, his love evident in his eyes. At that moment, a sinking feeling settled in Emily's stomach. She didn't want to hurt him, nor did she want to betray the trust they had worked so hard to rebuild. As she joined in the laughter with Mia and her friends, she began to feel the tension between her desires and her commitment grow. "Emily, let's take a shot," Mia shouted, her eyes sparkling with mischief. As they raised their glasses, Emily hesitated. The temptation was strong, the thrill of indulgence beckoning her. But she couldn't shake off the image of Tom's supportive smile and the love they had forged together. "I think I'll sit this one out," she said, setting her glass down and looking at Mia. "I'm good, thanks." Mia raised an eyebrow, a hint of disappointment in her gaze. "Oh, come on. Live a little." "I'm living, I promise," Emily replied, her voice firm yet light-hearted. "Just in a different way." As she stepped back, the tension in her chest began to dissolve. She didn't need to prove anything to anyone, least of all herself. The adventure she sought was not in reckless choices, but in the moments of authenticity and connection with Tom. As the night drew to a close, Emily and Tom returned to their hotel room, the salty breeze whispering through the open window. "I'm proud of you tonight," Tom said as they settled into bed. "I could see how much you enjoyed being with Mia, but you didn't lose sight of what matters most." Emily felt a rush of gratitude and relief. "Thank you for being so understanding. I thought I might slip back into old patterns, but I realized I want to create new memories with you instead." With a smile, Tom wrapped his arms around her. "We're in this together, always. Let's keep building our adventure, one day at a time." As they drifted off to sleep, Emily felt a newfound sense of clarity. The temptation to stray might always be there, but the love she shared with Tom was worth fighting for. She knew that together, they could explore all the excitement and passion life had to offer without sacrificing their connection. The journey ahead was still filled with choices, but Emily felt empowered to navigate them with honesty and integrity. She was ready to embrace her desires within the bounds of the love she cherished, and she felt hopeful for what the future held. Chapter 7: The Unexpected Encounter. As the sun rose over the coastal town, Emily woke up feeling refreshed and alive. The salty breeze streamed through the open window, carrying the sounds of seagulls and the distant crashing of waves. She turned to see Tom still asleep beside her, a peaceful smile gracing his face. Gently, she leaned in and kissed his forehead, feeling grateful for the love and commitment they had built together. The previous night's adventures lingered in her mind, but instead of anxiety, she felt excitement. They were on this journey together, and that meant the world to her. After sharing a quiet breakfast on their hotel balcony, they decided to spend the day exploring the beach. They walked hand in hand along the shore, the warm sand beneath their feet and the sun glinting off the water. Emily felt a sense of freedom wash over her, a stark contrast to the emotional turmoil she had experienced in recent months. "Let's go swimming," Tom suggested, pointing toward the inviting waves. "Are you sure? The water looks a bit chilly," Emily replied, playfully raising an eyebrow. "Come on, live a little. Besides, it'll be refreshing," he teased, pulling her toward the water. With laughter bubbling between them, they splashed into the waves, letting the cool water envelop them. Emily relished the moment, the thrill of adventure igniting a spark within her. After a playful swim, they lounged on the beach, soaking in the sun and the easy camaraderie that had defined their relationship. As the afternoon wore on, Emily felt a sense of completeness. They chatted about everything from their future plans to silly childhood stories, and with every shared laugh, Emily realized just how far they had come together. But as they strolled back to the hotel, the comfort of their connection was suddenly interrupted by an unexpected sight. Standing near a beachside cafe was Mia, waving enthusiastically as she spotted them. "Hey! I didn't expect to see you two here," Mia called out, her energy infectious. Emily felt a flutter of nerves but also excitement at the prospect of continuing their connection with Mia in a more positive light. "We're just enjoying a little getaway," she replied, trying to match Mia's enthusiasm. "Awesome. You should join us. We're about to grab lunch," Mia said, gesturing to her group of friends who were gathered at a nearby table. Emily exchanged a glance with Tom. A part of her was eager to reconnect with Mia, while another part hesitated, remembering the tension of their previous encounters. "Are you up for it?" Tom asked, his expression open and encouraging. "Sure. Let's go," Emily said, deciding to embrace the spontaneity that had drawn her to Mia in the first place. As they joined Mia and her friends, the atmosphere was lively and filled with laughter. They chatted, shared stories, and reminisced about old times. Emily found herself genuinely enjoying the company, grateful that Mia seemed to have softened her approach this time. After lunch, the group suggested playing beach volleyball. "Come on, it'll be fun," Mia insisted, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Emily felt a wave of excitement wash over her. "I'm in," she replied, glancing at Tom, who nodded in agreement. As they played, Emily immersed herself in the energy of the game. The sun warmed her skin, and laughter rang in her ears. For a while, everything felt perfect. She could see Tom enjoying himself as he connected with Mia's friends, and Emily felt a sense of belonging. But as the game continued, Emily caught a glimpse of a familiar face in the crowd. Alex, the charming sim from her game, was walking by with a group of friends, his presence magnetic and captivating. Emily felt her heart skip a beat as he approached, exchanging friendly greetings with Mia. "Hey, I didn't know you were in town," Alex said, flashing a smile that made Emily's heart race. "Just here for the weekend. You should join us," Mia replied, her voice enthusiastic. Emily felt a rush of anxiety. The flirtation between Alex and Lila in her game suddenly seemed tangible, a vivid representation of her conflicting desires. Tom noticed her unease and leaned in closer. "You okay?" he whispered, concern etched across his face. "Yeah, just caught off guard," Emily replied, trying to shake off the tension. "Remember what we talked about? We're in this together," Tom reassured her, his gaze steady and warm. With that, Emily took a deep breath and focused on the present. They engaged in playful banter with Alex, the thrill of attraction sparking between them like a game. But as the afternoon wore on, Emily found herself caught in a whirlwind of emotions. Alex's charm was palpable, and the chemistry was undeniable. Every joke, every smile felt like a mirror reflecting her past temptations and desires. In a moment of vulnerability, she glanced at Tom, who was laughing heartily with Mia's friends. The love in his eyes made Emily's heart swell, reminding her of the commitment they had forged together. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the beach, Emily felt the weight of her choices settle heavily upon her. The excitement of the day had rekindled her adventurous spirit, but the presence of Alex stirred old conflicts within her. Mia suggested a bonfire on the beach, and the group quickly agreed. As they gathered wood and settled around the flickering flames, Emily couldn't help but feel the tension in the air. "Let's tell stories," Mia proposed, her voice lively. "Who has a funny or embarrassing story to share?" As everyone began sharing, Emily felt the warmth of the fire and camaraderie envelop her. Yet, the pull between the old and new was strong, and the temptation to slip back into a world of excitement loomed over her. In a moment of honesty, Emily decided to share a story from her past, a moment that had changed her perspective on relationships. "Once, I found myself in a situation where I was torn between two people. It taught me a lot about what I truly value in my life," she began, her heart racing as she spoke. Mia looked intrigued, and Tom leaned in, his expression attentive. "What happened?" Mia asked, her curiosity piqued. Emily hesitated, aware of the sensitive nature of her story. "It made me realize that excitement can be fleeting, but true love and commitment are what really matter in the end. It's a lesson I hold dear," she concluded, glancing at Tom, who smiled reassuringly. The group fell silent for a moment, processing her words. Then Alex chimed in, "That's a great lesson. Relationships can be complex, but it's about finding what truly makes you happy," right? Emily nodded, feeling the weight of the conversation settle in. The evening continued, filled with laughter and light-hearted stories, yet Emily couldn't shake the awareness of her internal conflict. As the night deepened, Emily felt torn between her past and the love she shared with Tom. The flickering flames reflected her own flickering feelings, passionate yet uncertain. Just as the fire began to die down, Tom leaned closer to Emily, his voice low and sincere. "I know tonight has been a bit overwhelming. But I want you to know that I trust you. You're the person I want to build a future with." Emily felt her heart swell with emotion. In that moment, she realized that the adventure she craved was not about flirting with danger but about nurturing the love and excitement that existed in her life with Tom. As they sat together, watching the stars twinkle above, Emily felt a sense of clarity wash over her. She knew she had to embrace her desires in a way that honored her commitment to Tom, not in a way that jeopardized it. The following morning, as the sun rose over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Emily felt invigorated. She was ready to confront her feelings head-on, embracing the journey of love and adventure that awaited her. As they packed up their belongings to head back home, Emily took a deep breath, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. The temptations would always be there, but she was prepared to navigate them with honesty, integrity, and a commitment to the love she cherished. Chapter 8: The Heart's Resolution. The drive back home was filled with laughter and light conversation as Tom and Emily recounted their favorite moments from the trip. The warmth of the beach, the camaraderie with Mia, and the magic of the night had rekindled a spark within them, leaving Emily feeling more connected to Tom than ever. As they approached their town, a wave of reality washed over her, reminding her of the challenges they had faced. But this time, instead of dread, she felt a renewed determination to confront her feelings and the temptation that had lingered in the air. After arriving home, Emily took a moment to reflect on everything that had transpired during their getaway. She knew the temptation she felt toward Alex and the memories of her past wouldn't just disappear, but she also realized that they didn't have to dictate her future. The love she felt for Tom was genuine, built on trust, and it deserved to be nurtured. Over the next few days, Emily poured herself into her work and personal interests, but her thoughts often drifted back to the trip and the interactions with Mia and Alex. She found herself evaluating what excitement meant to her now. It was clear that while the allure of spontaneity still beckoned, her heart was anchored in something deeper: her relationship with Tom. One evening, after dinner, Emily suggested they sit down for a talk. She could feel the weight of the conversation ahead, but she was ready to be honest. "Hey, can we chat for a bit?" she asked, her tone serious but gentle. "Of course. What's on your mind?" Tom replied, his expression shifting to one of concern. "I've been thinking a lot about our trip and everything that happened," Emily began, her heart racing. "I want to be completely honest with you about how I felt." Tom nodded, encouraging her to continue. "I really enjoyed spending time with Mia and her friends, and I admit that Alex's presence stirred some feelings I thought I had moved past. It made me realize that I've been carrying some unresolved emotions about excitement and adventure," she confessed, her voice steady. Tom listened intently, his expression serious. "I appreciate your honesty, Emily. It's important for us to talk about these things." Emily took a deep breath, her heart pounding. "I want you to know that while I felt tempted, it never meant that I wanted to leave you or our relationship. Being with you makes me feel secure and loved in a way that I never want to jeopardize." Tom's face softened. "I'm glad to hear you say that. I've seen you grow so much since we started working on our relationship. It's normal to feel tempted or nostalgic about the past, but I want to reassure you that you're not alone in those feelings." "Really? You don't feel threatened by any of it?" she asked, surprised by his response. "Not when I know how much we mean to each other. We've come so far, and I trust you," he replied. "It's good to acknowledge those feelings. It shows you're being true to yourself." Emily felt a wave of relief wash over her. Thank you for understanding. I want to find a way to embrace the adventure without straying from the love we share. It's about finding that balance, right? Exactly, Tom said, his smile returning. Maybe we can create new adventures together, something that excites us both without the complications. I'd love that, Emily said, her heart swelling with gratitude. Let's plan some fun dates or trips. We can explore new things together. With a sense of newfound clarity, they began brainstorming ideas for future adventures. From weekend getaways to hiking trails they had never explored, Emily felt her heart lift at the thought of creating memories together. Over the next few weeks, they implemented their plans. They tried new restaurants, took spontaneous day trips, and even joined a dance class, rediscovering the joy of shared experiences. The connection between them deepened, and Emily felt the restlessness that had once plagued her begin to fade. One Friday evening, after a fun outing, they returned home and decided to cozy up on the couch. The warmth of the evening lingered in the air as they settled in with blankets and popcorn. Remember that time we played The Sims together? Tom asked with a playful grin. Emily laughed, her eyes sparkling. How could I forget? We created our dream house and then destroyed it for fun. Tom chuckled. Maybe we should play again. It might be fun to see how our Sims navigate relationships. Emily grinned, her heart filled with affection. Sure. But this time, let's make sure they communicate better than we did. As they played, they found themselves laughing and enjoying the playful escapades of their digital characters. Emily felt a surge of gratitude for how far they had come, the love they had built, and the joy of sharing simple moments together. Yet, as they delved deeper into the game, Emily found herself reflecting on her own relationship. The simplicity of her Sims interactions reminded her of the importance of communication and honesty in real life. Tom, she said softly as their Sims navigated a dramatic argument, I want to make sure we always talk about what we're feeling, just like we did before. He paused, his expression serious. Absolutely. We should never let anything fester between us. It's what makes us stronger. Emily nodded, feeling the sincerity in his words. And if anything ever feels off, we'll talk it out, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. Agreed. We're a team, he replied, smiling warmly. As they continued their gaming session, Emily realized that her relationship with Tom was not just about avoiding temptation, it was about building a life together where both partners could thrive and be true to themselves. In the weeks that followed, Emily felt more grounded in her choices. The memories of her past temptations began to fade, replaced by the vibrant moments she was creating with Tom. Each day was a new opportunity to nurture their love and create the excitement they both desired. The adventure was not in reckless behavior, but in the commitment to grow together, and Emily was ready to embrace whatever the future held. With Tom by her side, she felt equipped to navigate any challenges that might arise, grounded in the love and trust they had built.